You feel the vibe, it's contagious. Look in your eyes, shit is dangerous.
What up, everybody? I'm back on here again. I've been going for a minute trying to do so many different things, and so many good things is coming in store right now. So and changing everything, doing it in a better way. But today we're gonna be talking about remaining humble throughout life. So many things could be changed into our life. So many things could become different, and in a good way. You could have things coming in a good way, but you're not remaining humble, and that's what a lot of people mess up with. They don't realize that it's going to take you some time to get to that level, and during the timing of you going to the level, you was remaining humble, you know, and that's what helps you, and that's kind of what boosts you to become better, and it boosts your level when you get there. A lot of people forget that, you know what I mean. I try my best to remain humble in everything I do, you know what I mean. I have so much new things coming. It's like at the same time I'm gonna remain humble no matter what. People forget the fact that when you come from somewhere, and it's not always about your environment. It's not about your environment. It's not about who raised you. You know, it got a little bit to do with both, but it's not all about that. It's about you remember where you coming from. And when people say remember where you come from, they're not saying remember you from Brooklyn, or remember you from Queens, or remember you from, nah. They telling you remember your struggle. Remember where you started off at first. Because when you don't remember that, that's where you messed up at. Now you always remember it because you know why you don't forget? You don't forget where you come from, because if you forget where you come from, then you're going to end up where you came from in the first place. You're going to end up back to where you started. That's what's going to happen. You're going to end up back to where you started. And you're going to end up like, wait, how did I come back here? How did I ended up struggling again? How did I ended up not being able to pay these bills? How did I ended up getting into all these fights? How did I ended up back to 16, 17 years old? How did I ended up back to 9 years old? How did I end up back to all this stuff that I thought I'd left? How did I come back to it? Because you wasn't humble enough. You didn't remain humble as you was growing in society. You didn't remain humble when you got that first car you got. You didn't remain humble when you bought that apartment out of your pocket. You didn't remain humble when God gave you a chance to go on that stage. You didn't remain humble. That's where you messed up at. You know, a lot of people forget that throughout the line. They forget, I gotta do A, B, C, and D. Nah, it's not about you doing A, B, C, and D. You could do A, B, C, D, E, F, G, or you can do everything you want. But if you're not remaining humble, nine times out of ten, without you remaining humble, A, B, C, and D will not work out. It might work for a few months or a few years without you humbling yourself. But after a while, it's gonna catch up with yourself. A lot of people gonna leave you alone, and when that start to fall, then your job or your career start to fall. So it's good to always remind yourself that the humbleness inside of every human being, we all have it all, and it's not about And I know somebody that told me, they said the other day, they was like, I don't gotta remain humble. That's just an opinion, or that's just a characteristic. I don't have to remain humble. I said, you're right. You don't have to remain humble, but you didn't get to where you're at now if you wasn't humble. You know, they don't remember that. They want to tell you, they want to talk like that when they already there, but they didn't talk like that when they was eating ramen noodles, did they? They didn't talk like that when they was at the EBT office trying to, you know what I mean, flip some stamps. Some days they, be honest, they didn't. Come on, they didn't say none of that. They was the most humble human being on this earth. No matter what you got, no matter what's coming in store, no matter what's about to happen, no matter what's gonna change your life, no matter what you're working on that's going to make your life a big difference from now, you have to remain humble once you get there. Once you get through that process, and during the process, you should always remain humble, because it's even worse when you're in the process of changing your life into something bigger and better, but you're not remaining humble. But you're not there yet. So if you're not there yet, why would you even try to not be humble? It affects every human being. A child, adult, a teenager, y'all all can mess up if you don't remain humble. Life life will kick your ass. Life will kick your ass if you decide one day I'ma bash somebody because of their struggles. Life gonna kick your ass. And that's when karma come into play. Karma's gonna come into play. Cause you disrespected somebody while they already down. Especially if you came from the same boat. If you came from that same struggle boat, what makes you think you better than anybody that's coming off that boat? You came off the same boat. You might not land it the same way they landed, but you came off the same boat. And since you came off the same boat, you have to show that respect for those that's still in that process of being on the same land that you on or higher than that. You know what I mean? It takes a lot of guts to actually sit there and say, hey, you need help. It should never be like that. It should be, I know where you came from. I understand where you came from. Let me give you advice on what to do to get out of that situation. You know what I mean? It should be more like that. Remaining humble will help me get through my process that I'm going through right now. It showed me so many different ways, so many different doors are starting to open. There's levels to actually remaining humble. Are you humble enough? And when I say that, it's like, people don't get what I mean when I say that. When I say that, it's not about, oh, you just being humble, or that's about it. Nah. You could pretend, and there's two different types of people. There's the ones that are actually humble, and then there's the ones that pretend to be humble because society's saying it's, that's the wave. You know what I mean? Those ones that's pretending to be humble, 9 times out of 10, they don't give two shits about you, bro. They don't care about where you came from. Shit, they don't. Sometimes they probably didn't even been through the struggle. And even if you've never been through the struggle, you should still remain humble for the simple fact that you could lose everything you just got at that. I don't care if you was born into the rich and still lose everything, bro. Not everything gonna be handed to you after a while. Just take key in that. Just realize where you came from, why are you where you're at right now. You have to question yourself. And you know what's crazy? Every time you question yourself, why I'm here, where I came from, where I'm going, every single time you question yourself that, and if I were to answer you and say, because you're super humble, or you remained humble throughout those years, or throughout those months, or throughout those days, or throughout those weeks, you can't say, oh, that's a lie, or oh, that's false. Nah, because when you remain humble, that got you to your next step, and then your next level, and then your next step, and then the next. It made you become better. It's a very good thing, you know what I mean? It's not just to talk like, oh, you better be humble. Nah, it's not. People don't say it just because of that. Smart, wise people tell you that because they want to see you grow. Even though we all grow, wise people, individuals want to see you grow more and become a better person. So at the end of the day, if you're not humble, are you a better person, or did you backtrack? Hey guys, but the lesson of the day was remain humble no matter what's coming in store. And speaking about that, I have so much more videos coming through. I was busy, had a cold and all that, still do. We gonna be doing so much different things. I have another video coming out. I have a story time coming out. My next video is crazy. It's gonna be crazy. But yeah, I have a story time coming out. I have so much new things that I want to share with you guys, but I'd rather you see it. I'd rather not show you until it's actually here. But I'm definitely working on it. There's so many good things coming in store. I'm happy. I'm humble. I'm happy and humble. You know what I mean? Even if going through the process, it might be a little struggle, but I know that struggle is very temporary. And I'm super excited for what's next. Once you take that break and you actually do what you have to do for yourself and for others that you love, you won't have no issues. You don't have to worry about certain stuff. So I have so much coming in. Just keep watching, keep subscribing. What y'all doing? Like, comment, subscribe. I be forgetting to tell y'all that because it's like, boy, just like, comment, subscribe. Y'all, why it be so much? It be views that's not subscribing, bro. Just subscribe. Y'all be watching face, not subscribing. Just subscribe. It's easy. Just press the subscribe button. It's so simple, bro. So simple. Oh, we got so much more things to talk about. Might be doing. I got one more thing that I give you some information on. I have music coming through. It is fire. I done met some. Oh man, I have so much to share with you guys. On networking wise, I have met some people that I'm like, oh, life is gonna really change soon. Actually, the change is gonna happen soon. But when that change happens, I'm gonna remain humble. I'm not gonna forget where I started at. I'm not gonna forget this video. I'm not gonna forget none of that. I'm gonna always remind myself to keep the humbleness, keep the serenity, keep the happiness, keep the peacefulness, keep all that flowing, bro. Keep all that flowing. Don't forget. Don't forget. You can't forget. You can't forget. Remember, you can't forget where you come from, because you don't what? You don't want to go back. You don't want to backtrack. You don't want to go back there. So don't forget where you come from, because you don't want to go back. You always remember, so you can remind yourself to keep moving up in life regardless. With that being said, have a nice day, even though it's raining outside. Next video coming up pretty soon. Bye.